Okay, I would like to call the regular meeting of the Plymouth Board of Education of May 13th, 2026 to order at 6 p.m. Please join us in the pledge of the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 2, I would like to entertain a motion to amend the agenda by adding the following after number 7, which is superintendent's update. I'm going to add in new business, A, partnership between Terryville High School and Cook Willow Health and Rehab Center, and B, a budget summary update.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Bourbonnier, Mr. Perugino, second. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions? Motion carries. Item number 3, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the following minutes. The minutes of the regular Board of Education meeting of April 15th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Tilton and Mr. Foote. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
One.
Mr. Perugino abstains. Motion carries. And then the minutes of the Plymouth Board of Education Ad Hoc Policy Committee meeting of April 15th, 2026.
So moved.
Ms. Tilton
Second.
and Ms. Palmer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. One more, the minutes of the special meeting of the Plymouth Board of Education Finance and Operations Committee of April 13th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Palmer, Mr. Showers, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Mr. Perugino.
Mr. Perugino?
Yep.
And the motion carries. All right, item number 4, everybody's favorite, student representatives. We'll start with Eli Terry Junior Middle School.
So, spring sports, so I'll start off with spring sports. They're nearing the end of the season. The track and field team has multiple athletes qualify for state championship meet on May 23rd, and and the Berkshire League Championship on May 26th. The baseball and softball teams will both finish their season on May 26th. The baseball team is currently 4-4 this season, and the softball team is 5-3.
On May 1st and 2nd, the THS Drama Club put on the musical Mean Girls. The show featured 24 ETJMS students in both cast and crew. As one of the 24 students myself, I had a great time and I'm so proud of everyone. We had such a great show. The Drama Club will also have a field trip to New York on May 28th. They will be watching the Broadway show, The Great Gatsby, and are going to eat at the Hard Rock Cafe. The middle school students who participated in THS Drama Club are so thankful that we were allowed to act in the show and wish the graduating seniors the very best.
Grit and Wit. Grit and Wit will be returning to Eli Terry Middle School next week on Tuesday. Grit and Wit is an obstacle course with physical challenges and mental puzzles. We split up into teams and work together to get through the course as fast as possible, and many of the obstacles and challenges require us to collaborate on solutions. This will be my 3rd year doing Grit and Wit, and I think it has been very fun the past 2 years, and I'm very excited for this year. And thank you, PTA, for sponsoring this event.
ETJMS students completed SBAC testing today. Last week, we took the Math CAT and the Math Performance Task. This week, we took the ELA CAT test. Each day, we had an opportunity to earn a bracelet by showing up, being in test mode, and trying our best to show what we know. Students who earned all 5 bracelets will get to throw water balloons at Mr. Vigliotti next week. Over 50% of our over 80% of our students accomplished this, which means somewhere over 275 balloons will be tossed.
End of year events. We are looking forward to a lot of great end of year events over the next few weeks. First, we have our Spring Spirit Week and Pep Rally during the week of May 25th. Then the band and chorus will be performing in their spring concert on June 2nd. The 8th grade class will go to Lake Compounds for a day of fun on June 4th. And the 8th grade dance is the following on the 11th. The 6th graders are taking a trip to Mystic Aquarium on June 8th, and the 7th grade class will go to the Adventure Park ropes course on June 16th. Last but not least, I, along with the rest of the 8th graders, will participate in the 8th grade promotion ceremony on Friday, June 19th.
Great job. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Sebastian or Julia?
I saw you in the show, Julie.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Vigliotti called me today, and he said that you guys came down with 95% of what you were going to say today. So you guys really did a great job.
Thank you so much.
Everything, the presentation, what you shared, very nice.
Thank
See
you.
you two on a news anchor desk someday.
Good job, guys.
All right, let's move on to the news from Terryville High School.
Ruse Night, hosted by the junior class of Terryville High School, was a successful after-school event held from 6 to 10 p.m. that encouraged student engagement and school spirit. For a $5 admissions fee, students were invited to participate in a variety of gym activities, karaoke, and social time with friends in a safe, supervised environment. The event drew strong attendance and provided a fun opportunity for students to connect outside of regular school hours. In total, the junior class raised $356, contributing to future class initiatives. Beyond fundraising, Ruse Night played an important role in fostering a sense of unity and strengthening relationships within the student body.
For the past 8 years, Terryville High School has been invited to Cheshire High School for their annual leadership conference. This year, THS brought highly involved and deserving sophomores and juniors to represent our school. At the all-day event, students got to network with other students and learn about events and leadership styles that work in their schools. They got the opportunity to talk with community leaders at lunch and play games with other students as icebreakers. Overall, students said they had a great time and learned a lot.
Adding on to what Julia shared about Mean Girls, they delivered 3 full-length performances that showcased the dedication and talents of the cast and the crew. The production highlighted a strong collaboration between high school and middle school students, allowing younger performers to gain valuable experience while contributing to a high-quality show. In recognition of their efforts, the cast and crew have opportunities to be nominated for Halo Awards, further underscoring the quality of their performance. Overall, the production reflected the depth of talent within the school community and the success of the drama program in fostering creativity, confidence, and teamwork.
The spring concert for band and chorus will be on June 9th in the auditorium. Both groups have been working very hard for the past several months and can't wait to show everyone what they've been putting together.
The Terryville High School's esports team has achieved outstanding success this year, earning the title of 2-time state championship in Rocket League. Their performance has also secured them invitations to both New England Regional Competition and National Tournament, which will take place next Monday. In addition to the team's accomplishments, 3 players, Marcus Dunn, Logan Harnish, and Cody Gandarillas, have been recognized with all-state honors. The school community showed strong support for the team by broadcasting their matches on screens during study hall and lunch periods, allowing students and staff to follow their progress. Upon their return, the team was also celebrated for their achievements, further highlighting the pride and unity they have brought to the school.
There are many upcoming events for our seniors. Our first event, Scholarship Night, is on the 21st. This year, we have the largest sum of money ever awarded to students in the history of Terryville High School. We would like to say a huge thank you to local families, companies, and organizations that put out a scholarship. Also this month is a senior class trip to Holiday Hill, prom, and academic awards. In June, seniors have athletic awards, senior dinner, and graduation.
Thanks to the continued support from the Board of Education, Terryville High School has been able to offer a lot of advanced placement program tests, including 10 AP courses and a total of 127 exams taken by students this year. These courses include AP Language and Composition, AP Literature, AP US History, AP Computer Science, AP Biology, AP Statistics, AP Calculus, AP Government and Politics, and AP Psychology. Students have been actively engaged in this rigorous academic work. For example, I just completed the AP Lang today and A Push and AP Stats last week. Additionally, Fallon completed her AP Psych exam yesterday, as well as AP Biology and AP Literature in the previous week. This level of participation reflects both strong student commitment and the value of the opportunities made possible through the board's support.
We'd like to offer you the opportunity to look at the art show on your way out. It has lots of fun work, and students have been working very hard. That's a compilation of all year in every class that Ms. Salvatore runs. Thank you.
ladies. Any questions for Tiana or Fallon?
Thank you. Great job.
Thank you very much.
She's very thorough. You all did a fantastic job. Such a great thing to have on our board.
Thank you.
All four of you are welcome to stay as long as you would like. If you have other pressing issues to take care of, you may leave as well whenever you are ready.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank
Have
you
a
so
good
much.
night.
Thank you, guys.
See you next time.
All right, that brings us to item number 5, a presentation from Plymouth Center School.
Thank you. Good evening. So we're so excited to be here. We just want to share a little bit about what's been going on at Plymouth Center School. And it's this wonderful compilation of a whole lot that we're going to share. And we couldn't not bring our amazing new Mustang, Coco. He is the Plymouth School mascot that made his appearance this year after this wonderful mystery that we had. And I also have brought one of my second and first graders, and they're going to share a little bit about their favorite parts of this whole school-wide activity. And so they'll hang out with Coco for a few minutes, and I'll introduce them in just a second. So let me see if I can get this going for us. Okay. So this year at Plymouth Center School, we're really excited to highlight a recent school-wide initiative that brought our entire learning community together. We did this with the joy of reading and family engagement and shared excitement. And it was really centered around a mystery theme. And this initiative connected with a reading challenge and an interactive school-wide mystery of Coco the Mustang, and then a culminating author visit. So it went on for just over a month. And when I tell you that my entire student body was so excited, they were charged up. We had little clues, we had excitement on the announcements, there were pictures all over the building, and every day kids were running up to me asking me, "Where's Coco? What's going on?" So that's just a little preview, and I'll just share some of the highlights. So students were motivated to read at home, knowing that the more minutes they read and the more that they logged, the faster clues would be revealed. So it all started out one afternoon. We had our community meeting, and out of nowhere, our librarian, Mrs. Boyle, comes running in. Do you guys remember? Yeah. She was like, Mrs. Kalo, what's going on? And she's like, Coco's missing. And she hands me this big envelope, and there's a whole big, not a ransom, but kind of Coco's gone, Coco's missing, and if you want to find out where Coco is, you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to read, and the more you read, the faster the clues will come. So the boys and girls were just stunned because, of course, Coco, our Mustang, has been living in the library, a big stuffy, and all of a sudden he was just gone. So you can imagine the whole school was so willing to do their part. The excitement The excitement was built towards a special visit from a children's author, David Adler, who you might know. He is most well known for his Cam Jansen mysteries. And so we were excited to have him come, and he inspired our students by sharing the writing process developing his ideas on how he gets published, both fiction and nonfiction, and he provided a nice connection to us and excited us about mysteries. So he was there, and then through this experience, not only did we strengthen our literacy and our math skills, but we really pulled in our family community as they were working and supporting their students at home with their reading. So that was great, and they were just as excited. All of this, we had, let's see, our family, our reading, our whole school-wide connection, and then here you can start to see. Everyone in the school was involved. They were all excited, waiting for their clues to come, and each of our special teachers, they took a big part in this as well. So I want to share a little bit about some of the activities that the teachers did to help get us excited. Oh, you could see here too. Look at, this is what the kids were doing. We had our big Mustang. All of them were making missing Coco posters. They were all around the building. Even one of our teachers was at the veterinarian, and she came back and she took a picture. She said, maybe Coco's at the veterinarian. She's like, I saw on the board it said Coco. And so we were asking everyone, like, do you think it could be Coco? We just kept getting excited, and each and every day we got another clue. So while this was all happening, you could see some of the beautiful artwork. Mrs. Boylan, our fabulous art teacher, she read one of the mysteries of the snowy day, and then our second graders were working on snow artwork. Let's see, you could see here our PE teacher, Mr. Tisha, he organized a wonderful scavenger hunt around all of this excitement. You could see here in science, Mrs. Gallagher, she had all kinds of hands-on learning. She was tying in measurement, magnets, and experiments. And then you can see here, we had Mrs. Boyle in the library doing all of the exciting projects, and she had our second graders building Google slideshows about their favorite David Adler book and mysteries. So everybody just joined in. And then also Mr. Oster, he did an amazing job. He worked with his music mind, and he kind of reworked Mustang Sally to lyrics for Mustang Coco, and worked with all of our classes, pre-K through 2, for them to learn the lyrics to that song. I'm sure if you have littles at home, you've heard them singing Mustang Coco. And then even just this past week, he brought in a music friend of his who helped him mix and record, and they're making a beautiful mix of Mustang Coco that we'll soon have on our website. And then the clues just kept coming in. So let me just share a little bit about those. While the special teachers were integrating all of this, the students were getting clues, and they were working to get all of their reading minutes in. And one of the things I really wanted to share was that the response was incredible. Our students read over 43,285 minutes in 2 weeks at home. So it really just got everyone so excited, and we were so proud of them. Eventually, students solved the clues, and I'm gonna let one of my students tell you a little bit more about that. But once they found the real stuffed Coco, once they found the stuffed Coco, our real Coco appeared. So this was really exciting because now we actually have a mascot who can take part in all things at Plymouth Center School, and the kids love to see Coco when Coco makes an appearance. And our PTA has also been amazing. I cannot speak enough about them. They supported us. They helped us to attain Coco. They also did a big project to align with this big mystery, where they had a family event called Build a Mustang, and families were able to either come or they could purchase a take-home kit, and they all did kind of a Build-A-Bear stuffed Mustang night. So that was really exciting for all of our kids as well. So in conclusion, after all the kids were able to go and solve the mystery of Coco, they all had a great big class picture with Coco, and our whole school-wide initiative was a huge success. And I have to say, I would be remiss to not mention Corey Mazar, who is our literacy coach, who is the mastermind around this whole connection with David Adler and coming up with a mystery. And I'm sorry she couldn't be here tonight, but she really was a huge part of this. So I think overall, we fostered a huge love of reading in our school. We brought excitement to Plymouth Center School with our Mustang. And now I want to introduce these fabulous girls who are going to share a little bit about their favorite part of this, I guess it was about 6 weeks. So Paige, I'm going to introduce Paige Zagurski. I'm going to have her come up here first. And if you talk over here, they'll be able to hear you nice and loud, okay? They each have favorite parts.
I will be talking about what the Mustang means to our school. A Mustang means strength and teamwork, and our Mustang is gentle and kind. In pre-K, all I remember is that I had a picture of a Mustang. This year, we have a real Mustang named Coco. We all voted to name our Mustang. We had a school mystery where Coco went missing, and we all came together to solve the mystery. At PCS, we always say, ride with pride.
Awesome, thank you. And now I have Madison. This is first grader Madison Canane, and she's going to share her favorite part. Just talk and they'll hear you.
My favorite part of the Coco mystery was every day we worked on a reading challenge to get new clues. We earned a clue each week, and we had to solve a puzzle to figure out the clue. One of the clues, we had to work together to unscramble one big word. The word was downstairs. So we learned Coco was hiding downstairs. We also did a lot of reading together and celebrated the top readers. It was so much fun, but we still had to find Coco. Our last clue was that we had to work together to solve math problems to remove numbers from a hidden picture. Once we solved all the problems, it was a picture of a gym teacher, Mr. T. We headed downstairs where we found Coco in the gym. Everyone loved it. My little brother was so excited to find the real Coco. Chandler couldn't stop hugging Coco.
So there you have it. That's what's going on at Plymouth Center School. And thanks for letting us share this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Girls, and Miss Kalo. I'll talk to you two first. Oh no, she's like, what you're doing at Plymouth Center School is really unbelievable, and the culture and the climate you're creating in a primary elementary school, and it shows in everything you did here. And I know that Ms. Mazon had a big part of really putting this together, organizing this with all the teachers and the staff and the faculty you have there, because everyone was a part of this. But you two young ladies, to be standing at a podium in front of all these strange people, some might not be as strange for you, but you guys were amazing. You absolutely were amazing. Your reading was great. You were so confident. We heard everything you were saying. You guys did such an amazing job. I'm very, very proud of you guys. Unbelievable. You did so well.
Thank you for sharing what you've been doing at school. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right, that brings us to item number 6, public comment. So we will start with our in-person public comment. Anyone for public comment? All right, seeing none, we will move on to our remote public comment.
Not at this time.
Not at this time. We will check back in after. That brings us to item number 7, superintendent's update with new business.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start by congratulating our 2026 Terryville High School salutatorian and valedictorian. We have Ezekiel Berger, who won the salutatorian, and the valedictorian is going to be Drew Fowler. So congratulations to both of those students on behalf of the board and our school community. It's such an honor to become first or second in the class. And I just want to congratulate those two on their hard work throughout their 4 years here at the high school. Last week was Teacher Appreciation Week, and on behalf of the Board of Education and the administrative team, we arranged for Rita's Italian ice truck, not ice cream, ice truck, to visit each school. As a small token of our appreciation, we treated every employee. We kind of celebrate Nurses Day and Paraprofessional Day and Teacher Day, and Administrative Day. Not Boss's Day, but Administrative Day, all at one time. And we purchased a complimentary ice cream for everyone on our staff. Terryville High School will be supporting the Rotary Club's Day of Service. The seniors will be participating in a Senior Give Back Day this Friday, May 15th. The idea is for the seniors to thank the community they grew up in by doing some sort of a community service project for the town before they graduate. So this year, the seniors will be working at the Water Wheel in the Lock Museum, mulching, landscaping, and painting a fence. I don't know how that fence is going to come out, but they're going to be painting a fence. They're also going to be washing and detailing some cruisers for the Plymouth Police Department, and they're going to do a few projects at our schools. They're going to be cleaning the courtyards at Fisher, doing some landscaping projects at the other schools, and helping out the teachers in the classroom. As of Monday, we roped off the playground area at Plymouth Center School, where the playscape is, in preparations to remove the old playscape. Working with the mayor and speaking with the mayor, the town was not interested in repurposing the current playscape we have in place. So as we previously discussed, we're going to donate that playscape to the Boys and Girls Club. Our goal is to have the new playscape installed by the start of next school year, which really shouldn't be an issue. It just depends on when it comes in and when we get going on. And finally, as a reminder, the last 3 days of school, June 18th, 19th, and 22nd, will be early dismissal days. The Fisher promotion will be held on the 18th at 9:30 in the morning. The Eli Terry Step Up program will be held on June 19th at 9 a.m. And the Terryville High School graduation ceremony will be held on June 19th at 6 o'clock, rain or shine. If it's nice, we'll be on the soccer field. If it's not nice, we'll be in the auditorium. And our last day of school is Monday, June 22nd. In your board packets, I provided a list of end-of-the-year activities, with the exception of prom and field trips. I will be attending as many of those activities as possible. If you're interested in joining me, please let me know. And that's all I have.
All right, so we'll move on to our new items under new business.
So partnership between Terryville and Cook Willow will be Kelly.
All right, so earlier in the year at curriculum, when we met with Mr. Holtz, we talked about programming, and they had been looking into the CNA program. Thank you, Nicole, for helping us with the contact at Cook Willow. I know Mr. Holtz and Brian and the team have worked really hard to come up with a schedule to make this work. So basically, it's a 4-month certification program. The students will need to do 100 hours of on-site training. So I think it was 16 hours of classwork and 84 hours. Brian's handing out the exact numbers to you guys now. The challenge was so that students wouldn't miss learning time. So the schedule will be mostly on Saturdays and holidays. So that is a big commitment coming out of the students to be able to commit to that program. It will be paid for by the district.
At this point, we're going to start with 8 students as the pilot program. Parents or families would be responsible for purchasing scrubs and then paying for the certification test, similar to all the AP exams that, families pay for to take that. However, once they complete the program, they'll get their CNA certification and be able to apply for $20 an hour positions at Cook Willow, which I know is certainly more than I started off working at in high school. So this is a really great opportunity for our students to be able to participate in, and we would like to try to get this moved forward ASAP because we need to give families time to look it over and to commit to it because scheduling is already ongoing for next year's school year. So great opportunity, and hopefully we can get this on board. Did I miss anything, Brian?
No, I was going to say, this connection all started with Nicole and who she had over at Cook Willow to meet with me at first. And it was us two that met with them. And then we brought in the high school after we saw it was possible. But then we hit another roadblock with the days. And so we sat together, and Nicole was able to, very persistent, Nicole is very persistent. And we were able to get a meeting to get these days. And again, as Kelly said, the goal from Mr. Holtz and our Career Center at that meeting was, how do we put this program in place for kids that is at least impactful on their academics? And so we were able to do that, and that's why we're more comfortable now bringing this forward.
Question, you said 6 people, but this says 15.
8.
So it's
Or 8.
We're guaranteeing them 8.
we told them we would have 8 kids based on what they said in the Career Center, but they could hold up to 15.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't want to put that number on there because I didn't want Matt to get upset. So I said just 8 for now, but we can take up to 15. But Alyssa Glazer, our Career Center counselor, said we'll get 8. So
Brian, I don't get upset. I just figure it out.
All right, so I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the partnership between Terryville High School and Cook Willow Health and Rehab to offer the CNA Certified Partnership course for the 2026-2027 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Showers, Mr. Foote, any further discussion?
Brian, what about transportation for this?
they would be on their own for transportation. So, yeah, it's part of this. This is what will go home to the kids. I want to say, since I was principal here, which is 12, 15 years ago, I don't even know when, we were trying to figure out how to make this work, because this is the same program that Thomaston was doing. We wanted to try, we just couldn't make it work, so it's quite impressive that we were able to put this together in such a short period of time, so.
Any further discussion?
Is there an age restriction?
I'll have to answer that.
16 and by October 1st.
Yeah, 16 by October 1st. It's on the sheet. So, are you interested?
All right. You have something?
No.
No? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. Fantastic. Always good to bring more things, opportunities for our students. And then we have the budget summary update.
So there were a few wrinkles that have been put into our plan that we thought it was going to be very simple. The town council increased our budget, which we were very happy about, to a 4.08 increase. I thought we'd come to this meeting, we could adopt the new budget, and we'd be all set. But then, more happens. So let me kind of go through what I have here and what we've done. So the state of Connecticut has issued a supplemental educational aid fund to the town of Plymouth, not to the Board of Education, to the town of Plymouth. So there's a lot of confusion behind it. I sent information to Shipman. They sent me back an answer. I went on a conference with the commissioner. They contradicted what Shipman said. I sent Shipman what the commissioner said, and they sent me back a revised response. So what we do know for fact is that this is a grant that we received from the state of the State Department, not the State Department, the state of Connecticut. We received a 2-year grant. The town will receive, each one of those years, they'll receive $196,042 in supplemental educational aid. The town has 3 options on what they can do with these additional funds. The first is that they can keep the town's budget as is and let the schools utilize the extra money on top of the current approved budget. So our budget's approved at 4.08. The town's budget is approved. The additional money comes in for school purposes only. The second option, the town could go back and lower the amount of tax dollars going into the educational budget and use the new state money to fill the gap. So they can take our budget, lower it up to $196,042, take the grant, plug it into our budget, and save the taxpayers, lower the mill rate, or do what they need to with those funds. There's a lot of concern with that because we've been there as a board with regard to our sinking fund, and it creates a hole in our budget if that happens and they supplant that money. So we have to be very careful with that. The third option is we do a mixture of both. I've been talking with the mayor, having some discussions. There was so much confusion and clarification around this that we just need to kind of wait to see where we go with this 2-year grant. So what Matt and I, in talking, recommend this evening is that the board approves and adopts the revised budget of $28,703,423 at a 4.08 increase that we received from the town council. Then, depending on how the town decides to move forward with the supplemental aid, we may need to schedule a special meeting to figure out how and if we can spend that money and what we can do based on the landscape that we have in front of us. So that's the first part of the budget summary I needed to share with you. The second part deals with what was approved by the town council. They requested in good faith that we add $30,000 to the teacher supply accounts across the district. They also restored $68,000 with the expectation that the funds would be used to offset the salaries of the 2 regular education teacher aides and the unarmed building security monitor. Since the tri-board meeting, though, a concern has come up with pre-K and the program that we're going to need to address one way or another, and I'm going to have Beth share some of those details with you now of what that concern is.
So we're in a bit of a unique position this year because when we filled our pre-K classes, so we have 2 full day and 1 AM PM. We filled them, and I usually leave a couple spots just for anyone who moves in during the summer or next year, because any student who's of pre-K age that has IEP and receives special education, we take them into pre-K. So I did that, great. We sent out the decisions to everybody, and then about a week later, 3 students that were pre-K age moved into district, and we had to take them into the classes. That filled our full day classes for next year, so there's absolutely no wiggle room. And that's a unique position to be in because usually we have a little bit of room, and we will have students that move in probably next year. That seems to be typical for us. So the AM/PM is also a little bit higher than usual. It's at 10 and 8, which I'm sure you think is not that large, but we have to reserve, Karen's saying yes for 3-year-olds, yes it is. But we also have to reserve spots in those classes for any students who are receiving birth to 3 services but turn 3 during the year next year and qualify for special education. It's tricky to do that because all we know about the student until a few months before their 3rd birthday is their birth date. So we just know that how many students are going to turn 3 receiving birth to 3 services next year that could possibly be in our pre-K program. Some students don't qualify for special education at a birth to 3, but most do and then are in our program. So we have to keep those numbers low to add. So to highlight that, this year I think we started with about 8 in each class, and we have 16 in the AM class right now. So it has exploded. The other wrench that was thrown into this is we are NIAC accredited because we get a Smart Start grant. So we have to be accredited by NIAC, which is, I call it baby NIASC. It's just NIASC for, high school accreditation. It's just for pre-K. They require a 10-to-1 student-teacher ratio for every classroom. So we're just getting to the point where we're gonna need to be looking at more staff if we get more students. Right now we have one teacher and one classroom paraprofessional, so we meet those ratios, but we could be looking in the full day to need another student to stay, need another paraprofessional to stay accredited. And we may be visited for our accreditation visit either this spring or early fall, so that's also on my mind as well. So Brian, Matt, and I have had many conversations to brainstorm ideas, but it really comes down to what can be supported by the budget.
So with that, I'm going to make another recommendation to the board. That we wait to see what this town decides to do with the supplemental aid before we take action with the pre-K, because there's two directions we can go here. If we receive the additional funds, I would recommend to the board, I think Beth and Matt would do the same, another full-day pre-K program that we put into Plymouth Center School. It gives us 2 years to build that classroom into our budget based on the money and the educational aid we'll be getting. So it gives us a 2-year buffer to really build that classroom into our budget. So if we receive the additional funds, that would be my recommendation. If the town applies the funds to the mill rate or uses the funds for a different reason and supplants them into our budget, I would recommend converting the 2 general education aid positions to paraprofessional positions, and then taking those paraprofessionals, putting them into the pre-K for the large numbers, which will also meet the accreditation requirements. So the second option isn't really what we would want, but if we're forced to it, we might have to go there. But I think for now, we need to see how the town moves forward with the additional educational aid funds before we make a decision on pre-K. That's my recommendation. Doesn't mean that's what you have to do. That's just my recommendation. Finally, I have one more thing for you. Thank you, Pat. I've shared with the board the importance of maintaining our sinking fund for our K-8 reading and math programs. Like, we've talked about how much money should we just keep religiously in that fund. So to support that, I've created a chart that outlines the estimated cost of our reading program and our math program and the renewal timelines for both of those programs. These 2 programs are vital, and they're the consistent foundation we have for learning and growth in K through 8. So I recommend keeping the sinking fund at a level that covers the projected cost of these program renewals at all time. It doesn't have to be both at the same time, not combined, but at least have that in there so that we have a cycle going so we can purchase these where we don't have to build it into our budget, cut our staff to get that program back. We can actually think ahead of when we need these and make sure we have that money in that sinking fund. And so that's just my recommendation from there. And that's all I have.
Any questions for Mr. Falcone?
When does the town need to make their decision regarding what they're going to do with that money? Or is there no timeline to that?
I would think that they have to do it before July 1st because your fiscal year starts on July 1st. So I would think that they would have to make that decision at that point because then you have to close out the previous year and start the other one. So
when I
that
talk,
is my guess.
Yeah, when I talk about so what happened with this bill and what happened with this is, and Shipman didn't know this, so I had to send them that information. The state shared that at like 11:30 the night before they were approving everything, something was thrown in that let the state supplant or the town supplant instead of adding to the Board of Education budgets. So the bill originally was to support Board of Education budgets, and it shifted to the town controlling how those funds could be utilized. Which again, it's to support the taxpayers in the town and the community and the schools, so, which is fine. But that happened so last minute that the state hasn't even gotten back to us on an update on how the funds can be utilized or whatnot, and couldn't answer the questions during our virtual meeting with them. So I would say that the same guess is when the fiscal year ends on June 30th, and so I would assume July 1st, but we'll have to see. And again, I think Matt, myself, and Beth have spoken about if the town were to give that additional support to the school district, what we can do with that money that makes sense for both the town and the school at the same time. We do have a plan that we just need to talk with the mayor first to make sure that he's comfortable. And we need to know if the town council plans on giving us that money and leeway as well, so.
And Mr. Tisch should just let the town council know if they need any information from us. We are open to the communication.
Yeah, the first half of that, I had no
Yeah.
idea where the money comes in,
But don't forget, the town was also granted $135,084 in addition to the education money.
Yeah.
My question, and it's more than likely going to be to Matt, with this additional funding, if it does come to the Board of Ed, which would technically increase our budget, was that going to hold us to a new level with the MBR?
It's grant money, Jerry. It doesn't.
Grant money.
It doesn't go into our
Doesn't
budget.
go into your budget. It doesn't impact the approved budget.
Yeah, they made it a
Grant
grant,
money.
so it won't impact MBR,
Okay.
so.
All right, because we've had issues in the past with not meeting MBR.
Yep.
And so that was one of the clarifications that I wanted to get. The other clarification that I got, and I've been doing some interesting reading on what's on the state website. And you really should go into it, especially yourself, Ron, go in there. I mean, I can give you the, yes, I can give you the website after the meeting, but it's really discerning on what ends up happening with the towns that are, let's say, like the Hartfords, the Bridgeports, the New Havens, the Meridans, the New Britons, the Waterburys. When you look at disparity of how much money they're getting, and then you look at the towns that are getting $500,000 or less in this grant money, a majority of those towns that are getting $500,000 or less is all small town Connecticut. And I hate to tell you, when you go on that website and you look at what some of these small towns are getting, it's like you might not even get 2% of that $170 million. And it's mind-blowing on how the state legislature, yes, they did take care of the big cities and some of the medium-sized cities, but small town Connecticut, we just got the crumbs. That's basically it, so. But Ron, I'll get you that after the meeting.
All right, anything else on this item? All right, great. So we're going to move on to unfinished business. We have the 2027-2028 school year calendar. Everybody should have had that in their packet. We can make our motion and then we can discuss if there's any questions about it. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the 2027-2028 school year calendar as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Tilton, Mr. Foot, and now we will open it up for discussion. Anyone have any questions about the calendar? Any concerns, comments?
No, but I'm just realizing I'm gonna have to go back to school in 2 years on my birthday for the first day of school.
Well, we should change it then. All right, I guess seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right, that brings us to B, second read and possible approval of the following revised policies. Okay, so you should have those policies as well. I would like to entertain a motion to approve the following revised policies as presented.
So moved.
Series 3000 business and Series 5000 students. So Kelly,
Sorry.
that's okay. I have a second. Mr. Showers? All right, any discussion on those policies now? We're quiet tonight. Wow. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right, and that brings us to the adoption of the assigned budget. Just like Mr. Falcone says, we're kind of just doing what we were originally going to do, and we'll make some changes later if we need to. I'd like to entertain a motion for the Plymouth Board of Education to adopt the assigned budget of $28,703,423, which is a 4.08 increase.
So moved.
Mr. Showers?
Second.
Mr. Foote? Discussion on the motion.
What happened to 200 million?
We're gonna
I
build a new
believe that was a
school.
typo.
Oh, that's what you gave me, all right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure we're not getting 200 million.
no, that's what it said.
Any other discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. And then there is one more item. Review of the Plymouth Board of Education 5-year strategic plan.
So I don't know if you recall, but when we started working on the strategic plan, we decided to wait till after the budget was approved to revisit it. All the changes that we discussed and all of the changes that happened within the budget are reflective in this new document that was revised as of today's date. I don't know how the board wants to move forward with this. So I'm sorry, in blue is the things that are aligned to budget, in yellow are the changes that we made. But it's a matter of how the board wants to move forward. I don't know if you want to put an ad hoc committee together, if you want to run this through curriculum instruction to kind of go through the draft and fine tune it. It's really up to the board of where we go with this. This is reflective of this school year. So if it's a 5-year plan, we would just add the year at the end and we would just keep going. And that work should be done with the board at the board level. So that's up to you.
Any thoughts?
I'm
Any
fine
subcommittees
running
want to
it.
take it on?
I was gonna say, I'm fine running it through curriculum if that makes it so we don't have to put together a whole nother team and then anybody who's not on curriculum that wants to hop on for those meetings to have input, maybe instead of starting a whole nother commitment for
Yeah.
people.
Yep. And I
but
just-
I'm fine with putting that onto our agenda.
I think I'm fine with that as long as it is open to other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think this should just be limited to curriculum.
Right, well, yeah, but, that way we're not starting a whole nother extra meeting.
Yeah. Any board member can go to any meeting, and then
But can you be
we won't be
recognized as
voting
part
on
of
it necessarily at that time.
I am always comfortable with people contributing at the curriculum meetings. I'm not sure if that's
Yeah.
against the
No,
rules or
the
not.
curriculum's
but-
pretty open for people to share. Again, there's no decisions that are made in that meeting. We're not voting on it. The vote will come here. But I think my goal with this, and it should be kind of your goal, is that when we come back in August, we have a solid draft to present to the board that has been revised and edited so that the board, if not ready to adopt in September, maybe October, we're good to go with our 5-year plan, and we kind of get on that cycle of revising this as we go. And maybe we'll do it a little sooner next year. But that's what so it might take, the committee might have to meet possibly different times than just the ones that we have scheduled, a little more often. But I think that should be their goal, is that when we come back in August for our first meeting, it's a discussion and a presentation that we might do.
So you want to do the revisions before the end of this year, or in between August and
It
whatever
could
deadline
be,
you set.
that's up to you. It could be this year for next year. So when we come back in August, we could present, or we could start in August and then in September we could present it. That's up to you as a board, what you would like to do.
Well, one of the things that's gonna help us out tremendously is when the town decides on how they're gonna use that extra grant money that the state is allotting. So the quicker we find out how they're gonna utilize that, money for whatever purposes, which would help the Board of Education, that will, I'm not gonna say it's gonna drastically change this draft.
May
but there
influence it.
It will influence it for
It'll
sure.
influence
Absolutely.
it to the point where some of the things that may be 2 years down the road could be taken care of. You
So
know,
maybe, Kelly, it might be best to wait until we hear,
Right, well,
about
that's why
that.
I was saying maybe not
yeah.
for the end of this year unless we hear a decision like
And I mean,
tomorrow, but there's so many
We're getting
events
pretty close
also.
to the end
Yeah.
of
There's
the
a
year.
lot going on
And we can
too.
talk, listen, I'm here in the summer, so if we do it in the summer, that's fine. Just because the board doesn't meet in July doesn't mean that we can't meet in July.
Right.
So, but we could work that out after. I mean, I wanted to get that to everyone, the most updated revised copy off of what we were working for, or towards, and have some sort of a plan of how we would get it to the next level.
And if anybody has a chance to think about it after this meeting and you have some strong thoughts or concerns about it, please feel free to email Brian, myself. We're happy to hear from you. Okay. All right. So that brings us to item number 9, Business Managers Report and Personnel Report. Mr. Chenza.
So I'm not gonna belabor things that we've talked about kind of over and over the last couple of meetings, but I'll just touch on a couple of things. The first is that the Fisher heat pumps, we're good to go with that, and we are tentatively scheduled to start on June 23rd, which is the date after school. And we anticipate, the contractor anticipates that it'll take us probably 2 weeks to get that complete. So that's just an update on that. The sidewalk project at Plymouth Center School is kind of twofold. The first is we need to learn from the town how they want to handle the project itself, whether they're going to take care of the project or if they're going to just shift the money over to us and we'll oversee the project. And we're good either way. It all depends on how the town wants to do that. But more importantly is we've got a couple other estimates, and one of them came in significantly less than the money that the town gave us. And that number is $38,200. So it's about a $26,000 lower number. So there's a couple of things, obviously, we can have a conversation with the town and say, you allocated this, and with this 26,000, we can do other concrete projects along the line, or we simply do the one and the town does the rest with it's their capital. So, but we continue to try to narrow down the cost so that we're cost containing, if you will.
I'm assuming you're comfortable with that lower numbers company?
Yeah, it's actually, I because we're not there, I can't tell you which
No,
company,
no,
but I'm
no.
comfortable with who the contractor is.
I wouldn't know who they were anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Comfortable with who the contractor is. And then, finally, I'm very confident that we will end the year somewhere around $100,000 in surplus. And on June 10th at our next meeting, I will bring with Brian and Beth kind of recommendations that we think you should consider. And of course, then you have the opportunity to do whatever else with that surplus. But I'm pretty confident that that's where we're gonna be. Give me a plus or minus 10,000, I would appreciate it, but that's what we're looking at. So I turn it back to you with any questions.
Okay, questions for Mr. Genzel?
Given that we've spent so much money out of the sinking fund on projects, if we do have a surplus, would it be wise to allocate a small portion? Because I believe the numbers that we put out for replacement for curriculum is a little higher than what we currently have in there. Is that something that
So
we
that
should?
would be part of
part
the
of the
recommendation I would come to you
recommendations?
with, yes. Really, on the 10th, you're gonna get kind of three paths from me. Is you're gonna get, here are some projects that could be taken care of, or expenses that could be taken care of. Here is what I recommend that would go into the sinking fund, and here is what you should consider if you wanted to give back to the town. Like, that's the three kind of forks that I would apply to you.
Anyone else? All right, sounds great. That brings us to the personnel report, Mr. Falcone.
The only thing I'd like to point out is really the certified postings that we have right now. We have a third grade position, first grade position, and an art teacher. And those are just based on, they're all in the budget, but those are the only positions. And none of, knock on wood, all three of those positions are not areas of need. So we should be able to fill those positions pretty soon. So.
All right. Any questions from Mr. Falcone about the personnel report? All right. We are back to public comment. In-person public comment. Please join us at the podium.
It's quiet tonight.
Any public comment? Okay. Remote public comment.
Not at this
No,
time.
there, wait, I'm a little nervous how quiet it's been, if I'm being honest. All right, moving on. Item 11, committee reports, curriculum instruction, Ms. Tilton.
Okay, hang on a second. I have a lot of
Yep,
papers
go
here.
ahead.
All right, so we covered quite a few topics to come close to wrapping up the school year. With the addition of those half days for professional development, Mr. Falcone and the administrative team have put together a tentative schedule to make sure that they are providing opportunities for staff to have a balance of district-wide things, school-level things, and things that they need for their own individual learning. And it looks like they have a pretty good plan in place for that. We covered the certified faculty technology lease plan for their personal devices, which is up this year to try to find the best way to make sure that teachers have devices that work and that's fiscally responsible. So that looks like a good plan. There was an AI curriculum that was brought up to help staff with lesson planning. There's did you have that presentation?
We actually did, and it went really, really well.
Okay.
We haven't made any decisions yet. We're still working, but we had a presentation of curriculum writing. Curriculum writing is it's a tedious task, and by the time you finish, the curriculum's outdated and you have to start over. And it almost feels like it's never done. And now that we have AI, it does help to tighten that up where you can finish curriculum a lot faster, and it could all align to the standards. And the second program that we saw showed us that better than the first program. And so we don't know where we're going with it yet. We've been in discussion with them, but it was a very impressive presentation.
And then we also discussed general education summer school. Brian worked really hard to look at numbers and to think about getting that into place for our students who are in need of tier 2 and tier 3 intervention, just to provide an opportunity to close some of those gaps and make sure they don't have learning losses over the summer. I don't think we've made a full decision on whether or not we can get it off the ground for this year. That was our hope.
Well, it depends on what we're doing with the budget, the
A lot of
$68,000.
balls up in the
Yeah.
air while they're making that decision. So we did talk about that, and it really does seem like a great opportunity for our students who could use a little more extra support to get prepared for next year. And then the elementary anticipated class size was that preschool. And I know as a teacher and as somebody who did teach preschool, especially when you're working with students who have very significant needs, yes, we can cover our bases by putting a para into the classroom, but ideally it would be better to have smaller class sizes with a certified teacher. Just my personal and professional opinion on that take. So fingers crossed that the town will see that that is a genuine need for our community and for our youngest students, that the better we can prepare them for future, that will make their entire school career hopefully a little better. So again, have to wait and see how we can use those funds best. So, yep, I think I got everything.
Think so, too.
Anything, Karen?
All right, finance and
I have a question.
operations.
I have a question.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Question away.
D, general education summer school, is there a what's the cost
So
associated
when
to
we
that?
ran it through COVID, it was prior to myself getting here and Beth getting here, and Matt was here for, I think,
Few months.
a few months. And when they used the COVID relief money, it was really, really high. It was over, I think, $50,000. We were able to break it down and really structure it. Oh,
You want the number? So
15, right?
to run 6 classes, entering from K up to 6, 15,476.80 was the total number, and that would be, what did we say, 80 up to?
it would
No,
be
70. Okay, I'm just trying to look. 16 students per grade for 6 grades.
yeah, kids going in from kindergarten to first grade to second grade. So those summer months is where we would hit them
Right.
up until sixth grade. And then you would have 16 kids in a room, invite only, tier 2 and tier 3 students, which are the ones that are getting the extra assistance they might need academically, to try to help them not have that summer slide, and coming back to school. And the total was under $16,000, to answer your question, Jerry.
Yeah, we looked at it very closely. It was like an amazing bang for the buck kind of deal with what you would get for that. And being able to be invite only is kind of a nice addition to that too, because you know you're going to get the learners who probably are really going to benefit most from it.
So when does that decision need to be made for it to take place this summer?
Now,
That's what I'm
to take, because we would have to figure out what's gonna go in our budget to put that in. So for example, right now, the town gave us they gave us $30,000 for supplies, and it has to go towards supplies. Like in
We
good
want
faith,
to,
we,
yes.
I think that's appropriate. They also restored $68,000 into our budget for salaries, and with the expectation would go towards the general education teacher aides and the unarmed building security monitor. Now, I think there's an understanding that the town council can't tell us where to put the money. So the question is, would we want that $68,000 to go towards, I believe the unarmed security person was one of the main reasons why they did that and keep that in place. Would we want to do something else with the general education teacher aides? Would we want to put in summer school with some of those funds and/or offset the cost for the library media specialist at Fisher? Or would we want to stick with the 2 teacher's aides? Or would we want to do 1 teacher's aide and the unarmed? Or do we want to hold, because we have a pre-K problem and we might have to use those positions to put in the paraprofessionals into those pre-Ks? So, but the longer we wait, the less possible it is to run summer school this summer.
My question is, does the summer school come out of this year's budget or does it come out of next year's budget?
It's all out of next year's budget.
And we cannot use any of that possible $100,000 that's left over?
Nope, because summer school's basically all salary.
So we can't, I mean, just go into a little more detail, Matt. Like, at the end of the year, we have to zero out our budget. So we can encumber money.
But you cannot encumber salary.
Exactly. But what can you encumber, just so everyone?
You can encumber supplies. You could encumber the supplies that are needed for the summer. It's basically buying them in advance.
You could encumber
So-
like legal services, things like that.
Say that again?
Supplies.
Yeah,
It was pretty low.
Legal services,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
PD and things like that, that we
Those
have bills
things-
for
The
that.
things I cannot encumber for is salaries and benefits. Anything else you can encumber.
Is a stipend considered a salary, though?
It is.
It was a
But also
estimated
encumbering
1,000
stuff that
For
after.
supplies.
for supplies.
Low amount. What was it?
I estimated at about
We did
$1,200.
$200
So it
per
goes
class, yeah.
We
For
could
$50 a
possibly
week.
use that out of the 100.
To get the
To try
supplies.
to take some money from less than what we take. for next year.
$1,000, yeah. So, but again, these are board decisions. We're in a tough spot. We're kind of in limbo right now until the town makes that decision and we know what we're working with. We could literally be in a situation where we have a $196,000 hole in our budget if one decision's made in ACER plan. We could be in a situation where we might have the funds to put in a pre-K and have to work in the next 2 years to build that into our budget. I mean, we're all over the place.
Is
right
it
now.
worth putting in the summer school program now for this summer, knowing that it's already halfway through May? How soon would those letters or those invitations to those kids be able to go out for parents who probably have already made summer camp and
Yeah, we have to
vacation
post the positions and things like that. It's just a matter of where, when we're talking about $16,000, where is it coming from?
But like,
So,
is
like,
there even
what-
is there even a point to do it for this year, or should we just work it into the 27-28 budget?
That, it would probably be, it won't be as rushed, I think, if we do it that way. We can inform people, but there was a good point that was made at our curriculum meeting as well, though, that you need to start somewhere. And the
Right.
numbers might not be good in the first year, but it has to
Believe
build.
me, I'm the
But-
one that was pushing for the summer school, so
Yeah, but
I understand.
it's just a matter of right now, something has to go in order to put that in place. And then we have a lot of work to do to get that up and running for probably right after the 4th of July. I mean, I have the financial structure together. We have to put together in
I
the
would
actual
say I
structure of
do
summer school.
constant iterations at my job. You know, I'm expected to put out small increments of things. Small increments or pilots of things is one thing, but putting it out rushed is never going to be a good idea.
I think we should hold off until next year and.
I would agree.
Because we have big decisions coming up based on pre-K. But
I think it's a small amount, but I think you're going to get way more bang for your buck if you take the time to
Right.
plan it.
Well, yeah, and the other piece too is we were talking in our meeting about like the aftercare piece, because it's not a full day, it's a 3-hour program. And where would the kids go? And we'd have to work with Parker. I mean, there is a lot of legwork that would have to go into this.
right, I think instead of throwing it out as, like I said, to
I also
the-
think that
the rush.
you have to consider, you'll need to find staff for it. And at this late point in time, those that are looking for the summer kind of work, that stuff's already out there. They may be in other districts, they could be elsewhere. It could be a challenge to find that. And your invitation to the students, most families already have
Right.
their summer planned.
Well, not only that, it's like trying to spring that on a kid that is not anticipating going to summer camp. And then being like, haha, you're gonna go to summer school for the next 4 weeks. And it's like, okay, they're gonna be thrilled to be there. It's gonna be really great for 4 weeks.
Plus, even if it's, you know, even next year, as a first year of a program, you're always going to have kinks, and that's fine. But if it has kinks and has even extra kinks because it was rushed, you might put a really bad taste in some of those parents' mouths that their kid really could benefit from it, but they send them this year and we have rushed it through, and maybe then the next year they're like, no, we're not doing that again.
Fair enough. Sounds good. So we'll hold off on that for possibly next summer. All right, anything else for curriculum instruction? All right, Mr. Bourbonnaire.
Okay, finance and operation meeting was this previous Monday. Matt went through just about everything on the list. Except for some additional items that came up in that meeting. Plymouth Center School roof right now, we all know that right now we're looking at $2.2 million. right now. And more than likely, taking the solar panels off, are gonna be somewhere between $200,000 and $300,000, but that does not include lost energy. Okay, so that could be even more. Okay, and as everybody needs to know, we can't bond money, the town has to do it. And in order for the town to do it, they have to make sure that they have that money available, so that, the bond can go through. And also, the state's gonna want that money up front too, because they pay you on the back end. And according to the contractor that, Matt was working with, the state would give us 68 cents out of a dollar for that project, depending on the cost. So, you're probably looking at 68% of that project would be paid for by the state of Connecticut.
We have to have state specifications.
Do we have to get multiple votes for the roof?
So the way this works is we basically would be working with a general contractor and they would put together a bid package and they would put all that out.
Okay.
So there would be multiple, so we have an idea of what it's gonna cost so that we can go to the town and capital to say what it's gonna cost. But then when it comes right down to it, there would be an RFP, there would be
Okay.
bidding, that whole thing. And the state requires that. Although the state does have numerous state-approved contractors that bypasses that that process. But I think with something of this magnitude, they require that. And also, just for clarification, is the 2.2 plus, I'm gonna leave the solar panels off the conversation, is the 2 plus 2 number, working with the state, will be a higher cost because the state has coding requirements that will have to be met, which will increase the cost of the project. But the return with 68 cents on the dollar still usually, depending on what is needed, makes it still a viable project and below the estimate of this other thing. It's just, there's many more hoops to jump through. It's just clarification of what, Jerry was talking about.
Okay. Also, the other two schools that have issues, Fisher and Eli Terry, okay? We kind of threw it around that we would probably like to do the same exact type of evaluation that we did with Plymouth Center.
And we could do the infrared scan.
Yeah, have that company come in and do that infrared scan on both schools so that we have a general idea, an updated idea rather, of how much it would cost to do those two schools. So then if we had to go to capitals, we would have an exact number as of that date of what the contractor assumes would be the cost to fix those roofs. But then, as if you allude back to what we talked about, because of the fact that there are different building codes now compared to when there were building codes 60 years ago, we may have to upgrade those roofs to the building codes that are up now, which could enhance the cost of the project. But those are things that we're gonna try to do in order that if we have to go to capitals, we have a bona fide answer for them of the approximate cost, what they're gonna need to more than likely bond in order to fix the roof situations. The other conversation was about Terryville High School, but we're only about into year 20 or 21 with the roofs right now. More than likely, as we all know, most roofs are guaranteed for 30. So right now, it would probably be in the best interest of us as a board to kind of hold that off to maybe about 5 more years to kind of have an idea of what we're going to need to do. One of the areas of big concern is that, I think it's over where the gymnasium is there, that's roof shingles. So when they installed that, what was the guarantee on those shingles? Were they 25-year? Now you can get shingles on your roof 30, 35, 40-year guaranteed. So, we'd have to ascertain. More than likely, you're probably in the 20 or 25-year range. So that would get put off there. And really, that was it. We didn't really talk too much about general questions with finance because, as Matt said in his synopsis is that we're looking at about $100,000 a year, give or take some unforeseen bills that may come in at some point in time, but that was it in a nutshell.
What's the cost of the scan?
So for Plymouth Center School was about 5,000. To do the other two is going to be 12, I think.
Total, 12?
12 for the both.
12 for both.
Yep.
But we're not gonna do the high school.
It was not gonna scan the high school at this point.
Don't think it'd be worth it, no? While he's here? That's what I was wondering, when I read it,
10 years.
you know,
I think to scan it now, Pat, if we're gonna be out 5 to 10 years, then the data is obsolete, we're gonna have to do it again. So like, in my opinion, we're gonna pay for something only to have to do it again anyway. Why would we wanna spend that now?
Right.
We do know there's a need at the other two schools.
Yeah.
We have to get those done.
Oh, definitely.
And then when this school is kind of up, right, at this point, this school should be in the 10-year plan. And I'll add it to our 10 years, but it's gonna be all the way out at the end with a big question mark on estimate. But it'll be on the list, but we will have to start to look at it.
Okay, no, I just wondered when I read it, I didn't have much time when I came home, but I saw it, I said, I don't know why they're doing the high school, but now I understand, okay, no problem.
What does the infrared tell us, other than like where the spots are? I mean, is it gonna give us, is it breaking it down so that way, is it total replacement, is it a repair?
Yeah, it's basically a diagnostic tool that will tell us, all of the weak spots in the roof. It'll also tell us if the insulation below it is wet or damp, because that impacts what has to be done. If they have to strip all the way down and replace all the insulation, that obviously increased costs. But it basically becomes the foundation for the rest of the project design.
Okay. Does that come off the top if we use them? Like, you know, when you take your car for a diagnostic, you know,
No.
they charge you $1,000
Because
and
it's
then
an
take that off the bill?
it's an outside company,
Oh.
so it's,
Never hurts to
no.
ask.
It's a great question, but no, it
That's a good idea. I
doesn't
like
help.
it.
If I could kind of give you an idea, we had this done at Plymouth Center School like many, many years ago. And then when the company came back and said, okay, so this is the A area of the roof, this is the B area of the roof, and this is the C area of the roof. So you have to ascertain if you're gonna put a Band-Aid on, where you're putting the Band-Aid. So normally, and at the time when we did Plymouth Center, at that time, remember Pat, we just took the C area too. You were part of that too. We just took the C areas because we figured that the A's and B's were good. You know, per the consultant said that you don't really need, but the C's is what you need to take care of. You know,
I'm
but
just
now-
asking because if it's a matter of like, you know, if the roof is 50 years old, do we really need to pay money to figure out that it needs to be replaced?
It becomes the foundation of how.
Now that you've explained that it's also talking about like sub-layers and things like that, to figure out the exact estimate, then that's fine. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like, yeah, you need a new roof. It's like, well, duh, I could have walked up there and figured
Yeah,
that
we
out.
told you, we looked at it. So, look, there's water leaking.
Yeah,
That's how
like
that
there's
works.
water coming in, you know.
That's the sign.
All right, anything else for finance and operations?
Yeah, Jerry, the staircase here at the high school.
Oh, yes, totally forgot about that. Okay, so as everybody knows, does everybody know where the staircase to nowhere goes? You know where it is?
The staircase for what?
That way.
The staircase to nowhere.
No.
Do you have any idea where it is? It's in between the entrance of here, walking down to the entrance where the Board of Ed office is.
Right.
There's like 3 stairs there, which is, even before the Board of Ed office was put over there, was a stairway to nowhere, because it really didn't. So what they've decided is that it's gonna cost a pretty good amount of money to fix those stairs. So, and it's gonna cost them less money to remove those stairs and increase the landscape. The little bank that's over there, it was gonna be less expensive to do that. So, and that more than likely will probably get done.
Oh, outside stairs.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was thinking
In the
inside
building.
stairs. I think
Yeah.
everybody's face was saying the
The
same thing.
secret
like-
stairs.
The secret stairs, the
Now, when
outside
you
stairs.
first
Outside
walk up to
stairs.
the
Yeah, the
school, I've
stairs to
actually walked
nowhere.
down those stairs
I do
before,
too,
just
yeah.
saying.
But
They,
yeah,
they don't
those,
really go anywhere though.
to fix those stairs, I think the cost was like $15,000, Matt.
They told us it was gonna be
Yeah.
between 12 and 14.
When you're
Okay.
looking
And we're gonna have them
at the right,
removed
like you would
and
to
re-landscaped
central office
for I think it's
where
7,500. So
by the front entrance.
it's sort of,
Put some flowers.
because they're
there
just
and be all
keep
set.
falling, they've
Yeah.
gradually
Never
gotten
have to fix
even
them.
worse. It was a small patch, now it's the entire section
Dynamite.
is crumbling.
All right, thank you for that, Greg. You know. All right, I'm good.
Anything else? All right, moving on to board liaison reports. Mrs. Palmer, Plymouth Center School.
So Plymouth Center this Friday is having their first Someone Special dance for the second graders. It's a glow-themed dance. They have a pretty good RSVP count for it. The kids are really excited for it. So that's gonna be fun, it's something new for them. And they're just wrapping stuff up for the end of the year, getting ready for a field day and the end of the year, so that's pretty much it.
All right, Mrs. Allen, Fisher Elementary.
Meeting is next week for the PTA. We just wrapped up an exhausting Teacher Appreciation Week. So it was a huge success. The staff was so happy with everything that was done for them. We hope that they understood how much they are appreciated. So work is now underway for field day. Fifth grade celebration is going as well. And then just a lot of, last minute stuff, and we're already planning for next year.
Okay. Mrs. Tilton and Mrs. Corey for Eli Terry Junior Middle School.
We had our elections for the board for next year for the PTA, which was good, and because we're all leaving, so there's gonna be a whole new group of
You
people.
got some new recruits?
Yeah, we had to, find them somewhere under,
Yep.
and dig them out. Grit and Wit, again, was supposed to be on Friday, but it's gonna rain, so it'll be on Tuesday, which if you guys haven't driven past the field when Grit and Wit is out there, it literally is my favorite day every year. I love it. Danielle comes too, and the kids run around, and it's a really good time, and the kids talk about it. Getting them to understand the process of it is really fun. The first year didn't realize that it wasn't the first people to win. It was how fast you do it. So the team that crossed the finish line first was really mad that they did not win the t-shirts for it. So that was a little humbling for them. So that's fun. The 8th grade dance is coming up. So we've been for the first year trying to help plan that, which the kids have their own committee to plan the 8th grade dance, which has been interesting to say the least. But other than that, we're just kind of rolling to the end of the year.
Mr. Foote, Terryville High School.
The PTSA donations are coming in kind of slow for senior night. It has to do, I imagine, with the economy. They have had some business letter donations have gone out. I did present a letter last night to the Lions Club and asked them for additional donations, so we'll see what happens.
All right, well, thank you for that. Moving on to item 13, board comments. Mr. Showers.
Great presentation. I so love it that the kids are reading at this age. That's what got me going. I read 3 or 4 books a month, no problem. I love it. I love to see it in the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Ms. Tilton.
Yeah, it was great to have all of our student reps here. I continue to be impressed and amazed by how confident they are and the little ones sharing and the excitement. I think it's a very different vibe at Plymouth Center than in the past, so it's really exciting to see Mrs. Kalo bringing in so many new stuffs and so many new things, and I am really looking forward and also stressing about all of the funny senior events this year. We're just going to pretend like I don't have a child graduating, and I'm not at all stressed out about that. But I hope all the teachers appreciated Teacher Appreciation Week and what are we up to, 26, 27 days? We're almost there. It's really close. I have 26, so you guys probably have 27.
I don't count.
You don't, but your teachers are.
Darren does, he told us that.
Mr. Foot?
Kelly and I were stopped in our tracks on the way into for the beautiful art display. And it's been 6 years since I substituted in Watertown High School to admire the artwork that those kids did. These are just as good. There's some beautiful stuff out there.
Absolutely. Thank you. Mrs. Allen?
I really enjoyed the presentation. It sounds like what they're doing at Plymouth Center is really engaging the kids, and it sounds like it's been a lot of fun. So, I can't wait to see what they come up with next.
Ms. Corey?
Same. I love seeing I love when little kids come in. They're like the cutest little things ever. I'm really excited about the Cook Willow partnership. It's going to be really great for all of the kids. I have so many of them already, asking and talking about it, and excited to do something different and have different job opportunities in town. In the board packet, I saw that we're going to have the ASL, which I am also very excited about, and the kids are also very excited about. I'm excited to see what the kids are going to have for opportunities next year.
Nicole, just so you know, this goes out tomorrow now that the board approved it. So that should go home by the high school tomorrow. Someone should send it out.
Ms. Palmer?
I want to thank everybody for the presentation. Being a parent of a Plymouth Center kid, those 6 weeks, every day it was something different. It started off with Paige actually crying that Coco went missing, and she didn't understand why somebody would steal something so precious. So it really was fun, and to watch her speak tonight was amazing. So thank you for Ms. Kalo picking her. And the Cook Willow, I'm really happy that that's coming to fruition. I'm hoping down the road that we can do more programs like that, maybe like EMS with EMTs or something along those lines. So I'd like to see the things that are going on.
Mr. Perugino?
The presentation was just outstanding, it really was. I see them young kids up there speaking like that. I don't think I ever did that until I was probably in high school, if then. But also, I'd like to thank the Board of Finance and the Town Council for the budget. It's been many, many years since we've seen an increase like that, and both of them work very hard, and I know they're thankless jobs. I always said that about the Board of Finance, it's a thankless job. You guys got a thankless job on the council. But again, thank you very much for what you did. I really appreciate it, and I know the board does. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, can we get these board packets smaller? I mean, this is getting unreal. Look at it.
They tried to do it electronically, Pat, but certain people wouldn't do it.
I've asked multiple times.
You're right. You're right.
And I think you might have been one of them.
You could save paper, but
I mentioned binder clips. The whole time I'm opening it, I'm like, God, how much did this cost?
Well, we're gonna have to raise our budget on the paper, that's all.
Start selling it to us in notebooks. Nice binder cover.
No, that's okay.
Mr. Bourbonnais?
All right, what Pat said, thank you very much, Town Council. Thank you to the Board of Finance. I know it was pretty contentious that evening, and I get it. And in all honesty, I've been around advocating for education in this town for 25 years. And it was the first time that I ever seen the Town Council actually move some money and bring the budget up. Sometimes they say, first time's the charm. Hopefully it continues that way. Because in all honesty, if you look at other budgets, other school budgets are going 4, 5, 6%, and we usually stay in around the 3% range. And it's kind of hard to bring things into perspective into a school system. Because in all honesty, I can't deny a school, any child that goes to a small school district, why can't that student have the same opportunities as a student that goes to a like Darien school system?
or goes to a Cheshire school system, or goes to, Greenwich, any of those school systems that put money into their education, why can't a kid from Hartford have that opportunity, a kid from New Britain, a kid that's in small town Connecticut? So hopefully we can move forward, and hopefully the state, and in all honesty, it comes from the state. Also, Mrs. Kalo, great job. Most of us have been on Board of Education know that since it went to a pre-K through 2 school, parents have been advocating for more and more stuff at Plymouth Center. Okay, so this is one thing that came in that probably brought students together to look for cocoa. Also, I think what we need to do is we have a presentation with those kids. We need to get a smaller podium. It's kind of hard.
Step stool.
Yeah, a little step
I was
stool
like,
or something.
I thought there
But
was a
so
stool.
that we can, at least see the kids' faces when they're reading. Okay, and not only that would be good for the parents that are standing over there trying to take pictures of their kids videotaping on what they're doing. So that would be really, really good. The other thing is that we as a board, and I'm sure other boards we have to start understanding what's going on at the state capitol. We really do, because this 2-year plan is only 2 years. What's going to happen after that? Hopefully the legislature decides that this isn't just not 2 years, it has to go on, and they have to up education costs. And that's it for me.
All right. I just want to give a shout out to all the teachers and students who are in the testing grades. This is a stressful time of year for some of us, and very exhausting. So appreciate your teachers even more this week and the following weeks to come. And students, finish strong. You can do it. Our next
Karen?
board, sorry.
I have one other thing.
Yes.
Did anybody see the governor today on Brian Shackman's show?
Can't say that I
Governor
did.
is proposing Blue Ribbon Panel empowered. He wants to regionalize special education.
Oh, interesting
That's one of the
concept.
things he's pushing for.
Oh,
Because he says the towns can't afford it anymore.
yeah,
So we've got to wait and see what happens.
yeah.
That would be amazing.
Be interesting to see what happens.
Well, that's who's out of it.
Yeah. All right, our next board meeting, the next regular meeting of the Plymouth Board of Education is on Wednesday, June 10th at 6 PM in the cafeteria at Terryville High School. Next up brings us to our first executive session, and we will be discussing an agreement between the Plymouth Board of Education and the Plymouth School Nurses Association and the UAW contract negotiation. Do I have a motion to enter into our first executive session?
Second.
So, who was the first? I'm sorry. Mr.
Greg.
Showers and Mr. Perugino. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right, we'll take a minute to clear the room, and we will be in executive session.
We're gonna stay here, Madam Chairman?
Yes, we're going to stay here for... All right, I would like to resume regular session at 8:22 PM. And we are going to entertain a motion to approve the agreement between the Plymouth Board of Education and the Plymouth School Nurses Association as discussed in executive session.
So moved.
Mr. Perugino, Mr. Bourbonnaire. All right, I'm going to do a roll call vote. Mr. Showers?
Yes.
Ms. Tilton?
Yes.
Mr. Foote?
Yes.
Mr. Bourbonnaire?
Yes.
Mr. Perugino?
Yes.
Mrs. Palmer?
Yes.
Mrs. Corey?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Okay. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yeses and 0 nos. Motion carries. And there is no action being taken on our second topic. All right, so I would like to entertain a motion to enter a second executive session at 8:23 PM to discuss the following: inviting Mr. Falcone, Superintendent, a retreat for the Plymouth Board of Education evaluation packet, Plymouth Board of Education self-evaluation, superintendent evaluation, and extension of the contract for the superintendent of schools. Discussion and possible action. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Showers, Mr. Perugino, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right,
See you.
we are in our second executive session.
Enjoy.
I feel like these are good rules.
All right, I would like to resume regular session at 9:47 PM. We have no action taken on the first two items we discussed. And the last item that we discussed, the extension of the contract for the superintendent of schools. I would like to entertain a motion to approve the extension of the contract for the superintendent of schools as discussed in executive session.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Showers, Mr. Perugino. I will do a roll vote. Mr. Showers.
Yes.
Ms. Tilton.
Yes.
Mr. Foote.
Yes.
Mr. Boubinaire.
Yes.
Mr. Perugino.
Yes, please.
Mrs. Palmer.
Yes.
Mrs. Corey.
Yes.
Mrs. Allen. That is 8 yeses, 0 nos. That is a unanimous
For the
decision
rest of
to
my days.
keep our superintendent here. All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
At 9:48 PM, we have a motion by Mr. Boubinaire and a second by Mr. Perugino. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you very much, everybody, for your hard work. And the things that we discussed will be in motion.
Thank you guys very much. I do appreciate it.
Need help getting out here?